there won't be any more E-Sala Cup Namde jokes around, because E-Sala Cup Namde has now changed to E-Sala Cup Namdu. 2024 winners of the WPL are the team in the red corner that represented a fan base that had been waiting for such joy for quite some time. The men's team haven't really done so, but they were also part of the celebration. But as far as the franchise is concerned, there was a lot of eruption of joy at the Arun Jaitley Stadium, which looked like, by the way, was a stadium that was completely hijacked by the travelling supporters as far as the final of the WPL is concerned. But as we continue to look at this match, a match in which you thought there was some sort of a mismatch, let's say, because DC had again gotten direct qualification into the final for the second straight time. In fact, RCB on the other hand had an up and down kind of a season, but on the day of the final there was only one team that turned up. Besides, let's say, the first 6 overs of the match wherein the DC batters had some say, it was all RCB after that, both with the bat and the ball. Very quickly now, let's tell you some of the big numbers, that ultimately determined the winner of the 2024 WPL edition. Let's tell you what are those key numbers that ultimately made the difference on the big night of the final. Let's start with the first big number that we have for you. Now, 4 matches that the two teams had played against each other prior to the final, 2 of them happening in this year, 2 happening the previous season. On all 4 occasions, guess what? There's only one team that emerged as winners, and that was the team from Delhi. In fact, Delhi had made it a habit of scoring big runs. If the last 2 matches of this season are to be, are anything to go by, it's a team that has absolutely loved playing against RCB, scored big runs. In fact, one of the matches, in fact, was 193 odd score that DC had put. The other time, there was 180 odd runs that both teams had scored. In fact, that was down to just 1 run being the difference between the 2 sides, and that's the closest RCB had gotten to DC. But they hadn't beaten DC in any of the encounters prior to the final, but they've now snapped that streak, that losing streak that they had against DC. Remember, in fact, they had a similar streak going on against the Mumbai Indians as well, but guess what, they ended up breaking that too, and such was the form, let's say, of the franchise from Bangalore over the last 3 to 4 games, winning them on the trot and getting to the title. So that was the first big number that we had for you. Let's tell you more now. Now, 9 wickets which were taken by RCB spinners in the final. Remember, there was Asha Shobna, there was Sophie Molyneux, who started, who built those first cracks in that DC innings, and then there was a young Shreyanka Patil as well, who picked up 4 wickets on the big night. So 9 wickets being taken, 4 by Shreyanka, 3 by Molyneux, and 2 by Asha Shobna. 9 wickets that were taken by RCB spinners in the final. These are the most wickets taken by a team's spinners in a WPL game. You saw 8 wickets. The previous record was 8 wickets, and that was RCB versus UP, if memory serves me right, and that also was in the previous edition. You hadn't seen until last night 9 wickets being taken all by spinners in an innings. So that was the other big number from the big final. Let's tell you some more numbers now. Now, Shreyanka Patil has 2 4-wicket hauls in the WPL, both against the Delhi Capitals. So she clearly likes playing against the team from the national capital. In fact, she became the first bowler to bag 4 or more wickets more than once in the WPL. No other bowlers, in fact, done that. So a feat that will make the youngster extremely proud of herself by picking 2 wickets, 2 4-wicket hauls in the same edition of the WPL, and that was definitely the difference maker as well. As I told you, 4 wickets is what she took, was the highest wicket taker on the night as well. And after those inroads were made by Sophie Molyneux, she is the one that completely put the game to bed and ensured that the Delhi Capitals weren't allowed to put a total that could have bothered RCB. 49 now, that is all the runs that the 10 wickets that we saw. So you saw 64 runs being put up by Meg Lanning and Shefali Verma right at the start. There were no wickets being lost, but after that, all 10 wickets being lost for just 49 runs on the board. In fact, such was the dominance of the RCB bowlers, not giving away the DC players any room. But I must also say, of those 10 wickets, good 4 to 5 wickets, half the side, I would say. You could got to ask questions of of a Jemmy Rodriguez. You've got to ask questions of a Cap for all the shot selection that you saw. There was harakiri. Let's not make any bones about it. The Delhi Capitals players made or committed harakiri over there, and they're to be blaming themselves for this heavy defeat that they endured in the final. So 49 runs, that's all that they could put together after a 64-run opening stand right at the top, and probably this is the big difference maker. Elise Perry with the 141 runs in the last 3 matches. She's been the match winner for the RCB. In fact, in the eliminator as well, got a 50 that ended up taking them to a total which was going to be good enough then on the night. But had it not been for that form that Elise Perry found right at the death of the tournament, 141 runs, imagine, coming in those last 3 very crucial games. Played slow yesterday, one can say, but again it was for her to just stay at the crease. There was no scoreboard pressure, ensuring that she took the team over the line. That was Elise Perry for you in the final as well. So scoring 141 runs on the big night as well. Those were some of the big numbers from the final between the Delhi Capitals. Second time unlucky for them. Clearly one of the better teams in the tournament, rather across 2 formats, but RCB ending the jinx now in many ways as a franchise. And what a good job Smriti Mandhana has done as a captain, bringing joy not just to her teammates but to an entire city that's been waiting for such joy for quite some time now.